Hello, this is going to be a video on Roman numerals. So, Roman numerals are a set of letters that represent numbers. And I'm sharing my screen here with you so that you can see the different symbols associated with those Roman numerals. So, our SIG code SS, that means 1/2, that is actually a Roman numeral for 1/2. A capital I, or sometimes it is notated as a lowercase I, and that is fine. Does not matter if it's capital or lowercase. It is still representing the Arabic number 1. So the symbol you're seeing along the left here are referred to as the Roman numerals. And then the numbers that we are used to seeing, the 1/2, the 1, the 5, the 10, so on and so forth, etc., we refer to these as Arabic numbers. So SS is our SIG code for 1/2, and again, that is actually the Roman numeral for 1/2. An I represents the Arabic number 1. A V represents the Arabic number 5. An X represents the Arabic number 10. An L represents the Arabic number 50. A C represents the Arabic number 100. A D represents the Arabic number 500. And an M represents the Arabic number 100. So we do have some rules associated with our Roman numerals. Rule number 1 says that Roman numerals are never repeated more than 3 times in a row. So, what do we mean by that? Well, let's take a peek here, right? So, remember the I represents the Arabic number 1. Then we have 2 I's represents the Arabic number 2. Then we have 3 I's representing the Arabic number 3, but we can't repeat this character more than 3 times. So when we hit the Roman numeral 4, the way it is expressed changes, like so. So let's get to rule number 2. Rule number 2 says that when a Roman numeral is repeated, or when a smaller numeral follows a larger numeral, their values should be added together. So here we have 2 numerals that are the same, of same value, right? We said that each of these I's represents the number 1. So we're literally just adding 1 plus 1. And that's how we got to 2. Right here was 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's how we're getting to the 3, right? Let's look at our next rule. Rule number 3 says when a smaller numeral comes before a larger numeral, the one of lesser value is subtracted from the one of larger value. So that is exactly what is happening here with the number 4. We have a small number, right? This represents the number 1, and this represents the number 5. So we're not actually plugging this into a calculator, as so that would produce a negative number, correct? We will never have a negative number with Roman numerals. It's just not something that was done. So if we subtract 1 from the 5, it gives us the 4. And that is what that rule was explaining. Our next rule says when a numeral of smaller value comes between 2 numerals of larger value, the subtraction rule is always applied first, and then the addition rule. So let's make that one make sense. So the letter X represents the Arabic number 10. So if I put XIX, basically what they're saying, here I have a smaller numeral in front of a bigger numeral, and it is in between two numerals of larger value. So they're saying that I need to perform this subtraction. So if I take 1 from the 10, it leaves me with 9, and this is 10. So now I can do my addition. 10 plus 9, that is your Roman numeral for 19. All right, our next rule lets you know that rule number 5 says that ones or i's may only be subtracted from 5s, which again are represented by V. 10s or 5s may only be subtracted from 10s. Oh my goodness, I'm reading this all wrong, muddling it up. Let me start over. Rule number 5. 1 may only be subtracted from 5s and from 10s. 5s cannot be subtracted from anything. 10s may only be subtracted from 50s, which is represented with an L, and from hundreds, which is represented by a C. In case you're ever wondering why a $100 bill sometimes gets referred to as a C note, it's because a dollar bill is a legal note of tender, and the Roman numeral for 100 is C, hence C note. So again, your 10s may only be subtracted from those 50s and from the hundreds, and the hundreds may only be subtracted from the 500s and from the thousands. So if you can keep these Roman numeral rules in mind as you get ready to work with your Roman numerals, it should greatly help you out. So let me stop this screen share. I'm going to clear my board and we will look at a few conversion or translation examples, if you will. Okay, so I have some examples here for us. So our first example, right, we have a V and 2 I's. So those 2 I's are smaller values than the V, so we can just simply add these. So this would translate to 5 plus 1 plus 1, which equals 7. You may not necessarily need to write them out. Some people like to do like a little division line. We got the 5 plus the 2, whatever's going to work for you. So I may be putting more steps in than you necessarily need. If you don't need the steps, feel free to skip them. Somebody else who's not as comfortable may need those steps. So that is why I do it the way that I do it. Our next example, again, we have an X, a V, and 2 I's. So this starts with a really large value that's smaller than this one. This is smaller than that one. So we can just add these things together, right? So our X represents the Arabic number 10. That V represents the Arabic number 5. And each of these I's is a 1. Right? And so that is how it prints out. So 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16, plus 1 is 17. My next example, we have X, 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 I, X. So I have 3 of the same characters, so those I can just add, right? I do this one like this. So I have 10 plus 10 plus 10. But then here I have a small number in front of a big number. So remember, when that happens, I'm going to have to do the subtraction first before I do the addition. So this should actually be a plus there. So if I add that together, I get 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 9. This is 39. Again, some people may need to do some breaker lines in the Roman numeral to see where to separate and deviate these up at. And so here I have C, D, X, L, I, V. C is smaller than D, right? So for that one, D is 500. C is 100. It happens again here. X is smaller than L. L represents 50 and X represents 10, right? And then lastly, it happens again here. I have a 1 in front of a V, so I have a small value in front of a large value. So yet again, I'm going to have to do some subtraction before my addition. So 500 minus 100, that is 400. 50 minus 10, 40. 5 minus 1, 4. So this answer is 441. And our last example. Just looking at where we might want to separate those. And again, you may not necessarily have to do this. Some people need to be that kind of visual. So M represents, and I'm sorry, I put this line in the wrong place. Right there. M represents 1,000. And here I have a small value in front of a large value. C is 100, M is 1,000. So this is 1,000 minus 100 plus, now I have an L. L is 50 plus X, that's 10 plus 10 plus 10. Just going to go ahead and write that in as 30. The V represents 5. I represents 3. So again, I need to do the subtraction that occurred here first. So this becomes 900. So 1,000 plus 900 is 1,900. Plus 50 plus 30 is 80. Plus 5 plus 3, 1988. I hope this has helped you out with Roman numerals, and I look forward to meeting you again in the next video. Have a great day.